कान्हा कन्हैया नंदलाला ओ मुरली वाला ऐसी भजय मुरली मुरलिया जादू भरी। कान्हा कन्हैया नंदलाला ओ मुरली वाला ऐसी भजय मुरली मुरलिया जादू भरी। देखो कुंवर कन्हई ऐसी रास रचाई, ऐसी ताड़ सुनाई सुध बुध सब बिसराई। बात बुझेला निराला ओ मुरली वाला ऐसी बजाए मुरली मुरलिया जादू भरी। कान्हा कन्हैया नंदलाला ओ मुरली वाला ऐसी बजाए मुरली मुरलिया जादू भरी।
कान्हा कन्हैया नंदलाला ओ मुरली वाला ऐसी बजाई मुरली मुरलिया जादू भरी।
कान्हा कृष्ण मुरारी गोवर्धन गिरधारी, काहे मत की पूरी सुनती मेरी गाई। आए अभी ब्रिजपाला मुरली वाला ऐसी बजाए मुरली मुरलिया जादू भरी। कान्हा कन्हैया नंदलाला मुरली वाला ऐसी बजाए मुरली मुरलिया जादू भरी।
कान्हा कन्हैया नंदलाला ओ मुरली वाला ऐसी बजाई मुरली मुरलिया जादू भरी।
पावन स्वर दुलारा नटखट सबका प्यारा, मनमोहन मन भावन नाम रते जग सारा। माधु मुकुंद मत वाला मुरली वाला ऐसी बजाए मुरली मुरलिया जादू भरे। कान्हा कन्हैया नंदलाला ओ मुरली वाला ऐसी बजाए मुरली मुरलिया जादू भरे। कान्हा कन्हैया नंदलाला
ओ मुरली वाला ऐसी बजाई मुरली मुरलिया जादू भरी।
मुरलिया जादू भरी मुरलिया जादू भरी। श्री रंगाना कृष्णा देवकी नंदना, श्री रंगाना कृष्णा देवकी नंदना।
श्री रंगाना कृष्णा देवकी नंदना।
कमल नयन श्यामल बंधन अंग में चंदना।
कमल नयन श्यामल बदन गगन चंदना।
श्री रंगाना कृष्णा देवकी नंदना।
श्री रंगाना कृष्णा देवकी नंदना।
धीनो धियो धन गोपी का रंजन देवकी नंदना।
दीनु दियो धन गोपी का रंजन देवकी नंदना।
श्री रंगाना कृष्णा देवकी नंदना।
श्री रंगाना कृष्णा देवकी नंदना।
आओ आओ कन्हैया हमारी गलिया,
आओ आओ कन्हैया हमारी गलिया।
आओ आओ कन्हैया हमारी गलिया।
प्रेम से बोलिए श्री उमापति महादेव की जय, विष्णु भगवान की जय, सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय, सकल पंच की जय, जय सीताराम. Dear devotees, once again on behalf of the Mandir, I take this opportunity to extend to you and those yet to come a most cordial and special welcome. We are blessed once more with this divine privilege to be present here in this holy spot of pilgrimage, the shrine of Bhagwan Shankar, and more so to engage ourselves in this holy environment of satsang, puja, kirtan, and Bhagwan's katha, which Shankar Bhagwan himself reiterates, punya accumulate from the past and the present birth. It is difficult to find oneself in such environments. Bless. A most cordial and special welcome also to all bhaktas and devotees who normally join with us, nationally, regionally, and internationally, streaming live by members of the Nagar Hindu Youth Group, young Richie Visai, right? And Rishon, and okay, they're at the helm. And it's a wonderful thing to see what is going on, the quality that is done. Young little youths. Okay, as we stream live from the Nagar Hindu Temple, branch number 67 of the Sanatan Dharma Mahasabha of Sangre Grande, Trinidad, West Indies. So a most cordial and special welcome to you. We have had a puja, kirtan, we join in Bhagwan's katha. Let us sit up upright once more. And through the third eye, visualize the beautiful lotus-like form of Vishnu Bhagavan. Visualize the Lord possessing that dark hue complexion. A beautiful crown devotees on the Lord's head. Charabhuja with 4 arms, Sanka Chakra Gada Pajman Mala Vibhushitam. He has the Sang, the Chakra, the Gada, a lotus flower, a beautiful mala made of the wild sylvan flowers. Clad in bright shiny yellow outfit, Pitambar Kahani Kache. Bhagwan again, we rever most of all thy lotus-like feet. Mentally bowing upon them, we remind ourselves of the how mysterious those feet are. Half in the river Ganga flowing on earth, redeeming a Hilya in the form of Shri Ram. Janak lived in those feet on the date of the wedding of Shri Ram and Sita. Guha took that privilege before the Lord was ferried across Ganga. Even devotees with vision, thrown out from Lanka, sought refuge in those feet and were saved. So to Prabhu, as we mentally bow, we beg of you to bless us once more with your divine grace, guidance, divine mercy, divine protection. But Prabhu, we crave the greatest boon any human can be blessed with, the gift of unswerving, unfaltering, uninterrupted, loyal devotion of bhakti to thee. As we keep our focus on the Lord's feet, we join in reverence to the various divinities, beginning with Shri Ganesh. Hari Om. Shri Ganeshaya Namaha, Sri Saraswatiyai Namaha, Shri Guru Charana Kamalebhyo Namo Namaha. Om Yam Brahma Vedanta Vido Varante, Param Pradhana Purushanta Thanye, Veshwara Gate Karanam Ishwaram Va, Tasmai Namo Vigna Vinashanaya, Vinadhare Vepunamangaladana Shile, Bhaktarti Nashini Viranchi Karishavande, Kirti Prate Akhila Manorat De Maharahe, Vidya Pradayini Saraswati Namini Nityam. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Gurur Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Guru Namaha. Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Namo Narayanaya, Om Mukhaṁ karoti vācālam pangulam yate girim yadkripatamaham vande paramanandamadhavam Nilambuja shabalakomalangam Sita samarpitavam bhagam Pano mahashayaka charu chapam Namami ramam raghuvan sanatam Om Ram Ramiti Ramiti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranama Tatulyam Shri Ravanam Varanane Hirama Purushottama Narhari Narayan Keshava Govinda Garuda Gunanidhi Damodara Madhava He Krishna Kamalapati Yadupati Sitapati Shripati Vaikuntadipate Characharapate Lakshmipate Pahimam Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namah Namo Brahmanya Devaya Gau Brahmanyataya Cha Jagadithaya Krishnaya Govindaya Namo Namah Vasudevam Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishna Vande Jagat Guru Yam Brahma Varuna Indra Maruta Stunavanti Divyaistavai Vidai Sangha Parakramupanishadai Gariyantiyang Samakha Dhyanavastita Tarkate Namanasa Pashyantiyang Yogino Yashyantang Naviro Sura Suraganti Vai Tasmai Namaha Om Nagendra Haraya Trilochanaya Vashamangaragaya Maheshwaraya Nityaya Shuddhyaya Digambaraya Tasmai Nagaraya Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadrakali Kapalini Durga Chama Shiva Dhatri Swahaswatha Namostute Namostute Vyasa Vishala Budhe Puraravindra Yata Patra Netram Yena Tvaya Bharata Talya Purana Prajwalito Jnanam Pradipam Sri Guru Charana Sarojaraja Anijamana Ovarno Oragupara Vimalayasha Jodayaka Palasha Pampudahina Tanu O Sumira Pavana Kumar Malbuddhi Vidya Devohi Arhutali Sharika Siyapati Ramachandra Jai Sharanam Natham Abhasankat Haro Hari प्रेम से बोलिए श्री विष्णु भगवान की जय Praise be to Goddess Saraswati as we rever her craving of her bones once more. Bless us, the divine Goddess, that we may always possess that sharp and broad intellect, good memory, eloquence in our speech, melody in our voice, creativity in our hands, master in musical instruments and all in the field of fine arts and creativity. On Sunday, devotees is a Basant Panchami Saraswati Jayanti. We will be joining with the youth group as they normally host the Saraswati Jayanti Puja. It begins at 1 p.m. Those of you wish, we have consecrated Murti there. You can bring your offerings and so on as you offer to Goddess Saraswati seeking her blessing. So we join in praises to her once more. Jai 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 Shri Saraswati Mata.
Jai 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 Shri Saraswati Mata.
Oh Jai 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 Sri Radhika Jai Jai Jai
Shri Saraswati Mata.
Oh Jai Jai Jai
Shri Saraswati Mata.
Prathama Vinavamai Sri Ganesh ko duje Saraswati Ma Dije mai Vinavati Deva Ujo Yah Sri Jala Dije mai Vinavati Deva Ujo Yah Sri Jala Jai Jai Jai
Shri Saraswati Mata.
Oh Jai 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 Shri Rama Radhika
Jai 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 Shri Saraswati Mata.
Oh
Jai 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 Shri Saraswati Mata.
चौथे मैं बेनावा पंच सभी को ध्यान तुझे उलझा श्री गरुड़ पुराण अनुपम करनी भवसागर पार करा श्री गरुड़ पुराण अनुपम करनी भवसागर पार
करा। जय
जय जय
श्री सरस्वती माता।
ओ जय 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 श्री रामा राधिका
जय 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 श्री सरस्वती माता। जय 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 श्री सरस्वती माता। जय जय जय
श्री सरस्वती माता बोलो श्री आदि शक्ति सरस्वती देवी माता की जय. Devotees, this year makes it 180 years since our forefathers came here and made it 30th. Something big probably in store, we'll learn of later on. So mark 180 years since 1845, bringing with them this noble pathway of life, their way, their culture, their traditions. This is what keeps the people alive. Anytime you want to kill a people, take away their tradition and culture and so on. That people are considered dead. we were still blessed, and no matter all the suppression that we have had and so on, we were still able to survive and maintain it. And in this part of the world, yes, some people call it Little India, even more in India itself, right? That way we upkeep our dharma, our culture, and all these things and so on. And as the underlying quotation of the Vedas is that, if you live for the sake of your dharma will protect you. As a quotation in the Vedas. And if you want to know if it has worked, just try it. Just get on board and begin to live for the sake of your dharma, and you're going to see how it works. We have come from the great rishis and munis of the ancient time, devotees. Right? We praise them and always sit back and think of the lineage from which you have come from. We have gone through that Bhagavad in full detail, and we can trace back straight back to Lord Brahma. That is how detailed that scripture is. So the blood that flows in us, devotees, is a divine one. Hence, devotees, as it says, whatever challenges you face in life, especially our younger ones, opportunities that you may embrace, never swerve from your dharma. Stand firm as a soldier in the battlefield, prepare to go wrong, but no retreat. सनातन धर्म की जय हो। चारों दुनिया में सनातन धर्म की जय हो।
प्रचार दुनिया में सनातन धर्म की जय हो।
ऋषि संतान होने को जो दावा मन में रखते हो।
ऋषि संतान होने को जो दावा मन पे रखते हो।
ना छोड़ो कर्म अपने को
सनातन धर्म की जय हो। सनातन धर्म की जय हो। सनातन धर्म की जय हो।
बोलो श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। So 180 years this year since our forefathers came. I am third generation, right? Yeah, probably everybody here will have been second. All right, and the lineage as they go, you know, well, others coming up. Third, fourth, fifth, and so on. Hold on to your dharma. Let the mandir be a place always occupying your heart, and you will see how your whole life will be enhanced, devotees. This year also makes it 35 years since we are celebrating Ramlila and Sanagrandi. 35 years. Okay, so we have other occasions coming up. So let's join in one bhajan, begging the Lord His mercy on us, bless us with that knowledge. आज अंधेरे में कई कम इंसान ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान। आज अंधेरे में कई कम इंसान ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान राह दिखा दे।
बात करही हम राह दिखा दे। भगवान राह दिखा दे।
कदम कदम पर किरण विचारे भगवान किरण विचारे। कदम कदम पर किरण विचारे भगवान किरण विचारे। अंधेरे मिल गए हम इंसान, ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे
भगवान।
हम तू है संतान तिहारी, प्रभु संतान तिहारी।
हम तो है संतान तिहारी, प्रभु संतान तिहारी।
तेरी दया पर हम अधिकारी, प्रभु है हम अधिकारी। तेरी दया पर हम अधिकारी, प्रभु है हम अधिकारी। दुनिया होवे सुखी हमारी, दुनिया होवे सुखी हमारी।
ऐसा दे वरदान,
ओ
ऐसा दे वरदान। आज तेरे दिए हम इंसान, ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान।
आज तेरे
दिए हम इंसान, ज्ञान का सूरज चमका दे भगवान।
ज्ञान
का सूरज चमका दे भगवान।
बोलो श्री विष्णु भगवान की जय, सर्वदेवी सर्वदेवता की जय, साधु गुरु के दंडवत, जय 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 सीताराम। So devotees, we have had a break for 2-week period, 2 Thursdays. There were no satsang. But I was not here, but we still had satsang in New York. Right? Sunday morning gone, we had a beautiful session at Radha Krishna Mandir in Jamaica in New York. And they were so appreciative of it also. So we are back again, and as we take a dip in this fathomless lake of nectar, the Sri Garuda Purana, this dialogue between Vishnu Bhagavan himself and the chariot upon whom he travels, Garuda, that eagle. Using the opportunity, Garuda devotees put forward questions to Bhagavan Vishnu pertaining to pre-death, death, and after death. And more so, devotees are included in it, all right? Between the lines of the kathas, it teaches us also really and truly guidelines of us how we should live really correctly if we can. So devotees, he has explained before to Garudaji, there are different pathways by which you go down after leaving this body, depending on the type of lifestyle. Right? There are 4 gateways, east, west, north, and south. And on the southern pathway, devotees, is where the perverse, the wicked, those who are against Godhead and so on, their devotees head down that pathway towards Yamlok, the city of Lord Yamraj. And their devotees is that river called the Vaitarani River. Right? When does the soul reach Vaitarani? After the Bhandara is done, the first Bhandara, in 5.5 months, lunar months, which will work out to be the 8th pinda that will be offered on behalf of that soul. This is where the soul reaches Vaitarani River. It explains here the difficulty in crossing that river. If someone had did a go down before you, we made the gift of a cow, then that trip across, the merits accrue that is like, let me say, a boat or a raft to take you whilst others are drowning. See it? In Garuda Purana also it states, you see with our rites and rituals, when someone dies, the 6 months Bhandara is really recommended to do, right? But some people feel it's too much. They want to do the first one. They want to do shaving self-process in the last, we're talking about 6 months. But if it's possible and you can do it, it is recommended. If a Gaudan was not done whilst the person was alive, the son can take the initiative and do the Gaudan, yeah. When that's 6 months Bhandara. It's between 5.5 to 6 months, you have to work it out, it should be done, yeah. Okay? Reaching devotees after the city of Lord Yamraj, then when you meet at the gate, yeah, the gatekeepers, right? Their names, you have read all these already. And devotees, when the issue comes where your case has to be called, everything is, it is so simple, so logically put out, right? Based on that logical law of the universe, which is the law of karma. We are the creators of our destiny. How you make your bed, so you will lie. What you plant is what you're going to reap. And I just put it so simply. If you plant dashin when you go to dig, you could never get arrows down there. It'd have to be dashin or you wouldn't get any whatsoever. That is the law of karma. So based on that now, you have to answer to the Lord as the Lord of justice, Lord Yamraj. Right? Kshetra and Gupta come and testify because they have your file number, serial number, they sort of call out all what you do down here. You just want to the honor for us do that up there. But let us remember, Kshetra and Gupta goes with us anywhere we go in. Right? They dwell on our shoulders. Besides that, the sons and the daughters and the Sravanas and Sravanis, the sons and daughters-in-law of Lord Brahma, they also document and testify. And due to the basis of your balance sheet there with good and bad karmas, that is how you're destined to suffer in the various hells that we are on river and so on. And a creature is not born by guess. Later on, we go on Garuda Purana, you listen. When you perform excess sin with this body, what body had a born back in to suffer that particular sin? That particular sin. And think about sins, all right? So here it tells you here, in the custody of the Jamdut is the messenger of Lord Yamraj himself. The soul is given a special body for torture. Remember, the soul can't die. It can be burned by fire, dread by water, or caught by weapons whatsoever. So just as how we are in this body, this physical body, when somebody dies, the soul enters into an aerial body the size of the thumb. You call it Angush Sharir. When pindas are offered every day after the funeral to the shaving, or the shaving day, a new body is formed the size of the palm of the hand, an aerial body called a cubit. And this is the body the soul traveling in. Now with the balance of the balance sheet of your karmas now, and if you have to suffer for what sins and so on, you get a body now for that purpose, for torture in that respect. Although in this body here, what does body experience? If you get paid in a foot, then it affect the soul? Think about it. So whatever body you'll be feeling it, you'll be experiencing it in this way. And here devotees, it tells you that there's a big silk cotton tree there, right? Near the Vaitarani River. And we are souls, that tree, ever since I was a little child, I always saying about that. How you call it? All the taboo with it now. The silk cotton tree, where there's spirit running wrong it and all these things and so on. All right? All these dear devotees. And then the soul begins to cry and bawl devotees and begins to regret. Right? But it is too late. It is in the custody devotees of those, how you call it, the Jamduts. So let us hear devotees. Bhagavan continues to explain to Garudaji. As I have often said, the Garuda Purana is not to offend anyone. It will fall in your garden and my garden, everybody's garden. But it's meant for knowledge. Knowledge. We want to get the truth, the knowledge of it. Okay? Hari Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha Saraswatiyai Namaha Guru Charan Kamalibhyo Namo Namah Sri Vishnu Adi Devibhyo Namaha Puna Punasya Kuteko Hari Om Dutai Ko Hanyante Loha Ko Yashtibhi Hari Om Mudhaga Rai Stomarai Hari Om Kuntaiga Ko Dabhi Ko Mulai Ko Brishama Toko Danasya Ko Cheva Ko Nishtita Ko Murchitasya Ko Bhavantite Tatha Ko Nishchit Ko Hari Om Chistan Drishta Ko Kinkaratate Ko Vadanite Hari Om Siri Bho Ko Papa Ko Durachara Karam Marta Ko Dushta Chetam Sulabhani ko na ko datani Hari Om Jalan ko an ko yapir ko kavachai Shri Vishnu Bhagavan ki jai. Beaten by the servants of Yamraj on the way devotees. What happened? The servants of Lord Yamraj now are telling them the soul. As the soul begging for mercy, devotees. Hari Om He Durachari प्रेत को ऐसा दुष्ट आचरण को क्योंकि एक कोका को संसार में अंजल को कोई भी को पदार्थ सुलभ को नहीं था है. He said, what you're making noise for and you regret it at this time, it is too late. It is too late. You cannot do it now. Right? When time to do, you did not do. You never gave a mouthful of food to another creature while she was living. Devotees every day, one of the past yajnas we're supposed to do is feed another person, another animal, you know. Right? You don't get the opportunity every day, but whenever it comes, there is no gift, we read that in Shiv Puran, greater than the gift of food. Always remember that. But when you look at food is categorized too, right? You had to offer food, devotees, that you could offer to Krishna Bhagwan first, Krishna Arpan. So it had to be Sattvic Bhojan. Vegetarian is the highest. Whilst you were living, you only studied on the wrong side and only for your own personal gain then. You never help anybody, you never made a gift of food, you never not even water you give to another creature, son. Then what happened? Narayana Bhakti Kevalam. इसी प्रकार को किसी को किसी समय को दान नहीं को किया कि होता है. So easy to give water. That is a custom in India. For any time reached by somebody home is water. They bring water first. We used to do that long time down here too. Always bring water for your guests first. That still goes on in India. You never made a gift of water, right? Food and so on, devotees. Offering at all to anyone. You ain't offering to the devotees, you ain't offering to people, not to animals, nobody. And you see, we have a tendency, let me tell you what has happened. When I get a little older, I go start. You walk in, you say, when I retire, I get it on board. Don't frighten. You sure you can live to retire? Nobody is sure about that. That's why you see satsang has to be part of our natural lifestyle as you're going along in life. And whilst the opportunity is afforded, grasp it, take it, devotees, because we don't know when tomorrow morning comes if we'll have that opportunity. Do with this body whilst you could do, because the time will come, devotees, and you just know where. You see with that clock ticking, you just begin to realize, right, in life, as you're going along in life now, what you could have do 20 years ago, difficult now. Okay? So you never did that. Hari Om tumne ko grasa matra ko an ko daan nahi kiya ki hota hai. You did not even give a half mouthful of food to the dog. Just think about it. You see, that's why feeding them. Some people mind pets, which is very, very great. But you can't mind pets and suffering them. You have to care for them. So with pets home, you get the opportunity to give them food. But that's the next problem. The fella puja coming up, you have to big Alsatian dog there. So we had to fast for 3 weeks, and he said, well, Baba, how to cook the meat for the dog? I grew up German Shepherd vegetarian, Alsatian vegetarian. Every one of them grew up vegetarian, maybe. Hybrid dog I'm telling you about. Well, the dog for person. Yeah. Right? You have to eat what I eaten. And they grew up with that. Yeah. And Alsatian, when you throw salad roti for him, it one catch and he swallowed down one time. The mouth was so big. Yeah. Says, so how you go fast now if you had to cook the meat home for the dog? You see it? So again, that is Rakshas food, yeah. Too many by anybody. I mean, due to this style of life that right now the place, you have to have gate and you have to lock and alarm and bugraproof and all these things and so on. Right? But a home, devotees, a house is considered a home when guests can be welcome and treated here. So you don't get all the time to do, you know. That's why you see, like the Hindu, once a year, you organize your little puja with your pandit and you invite your villagers, friends and neighbors to come and you get to honor them and to feed them and all these things and so on. Whenever that happens, devotees take advantage of it. Neither did you ever make offerings to the forefathers. Now what comes in there? Petra Paksh. I always advocate, you know, that if you as a Hindu and you're not progressing in your life, your lifestyle is wrong. Because you're not living as you should as a Hindu. One of the greatest blessing, devotees, for progression in this world, both spiritually and materially, is worship to the Pitras. You see that 2 weeks of Pitra Paksh? That 2 weeks of Pitra Paksh, if you really know how to harness it and take advantage of it, devotees, the Pitras just bless you. When nothing is done, they curse you, they strap you. And especially, you know, like if they had worked hard and make and built and you inherited and so on and you're doing anything. Right? Yeah, the Jamluta study, you never even think about Pitra Paksh time. Never made a little offering. And how long does it take? 5 minutes. Hardest is to get up and bathe. Right? Make a little offering with your water and black tea and so on. Hari Uttam ko dhyan ko Yamraj ko aur ko Chitragupta ko ki nahi kiya dono ko Hari Om Sri. मंत्र का जाप ही नहीं को किया यम की को यातना जिसको जपादी को करने से नहीं की होता है. So you see what is happening in Garuda Purana? It teaching us to the things we should do, how you should really live as a Hindu. These are things that we should be doing. It's supposed to become part of our lifestyle. Okay? And then he say again, you never meditated on Lord Yamraj, neither Chitragupta, for it to be a little favorable to you. And before Diwali, you recite a diya facing south for Lord Yamraj. Yeah? Well, it's important that Yam Deep. Yam Deep is 2 days before Diwali, eh? Not the day before. When you light it in favor of Lord Yamraj, he blesses you to live long here. If a couple lights it together, he blesses that couple that they will live long together as husband and wife. Okay? When you do it Shrad, you make offerings to Yam Devta. Right, Tarpan and Hawan and all these things and so on. Is Lord Vishnu taking that form as a judge? But appeasing him, he will bless you again to have longevity here. Right? You never remembered any of them and so on. And what happens? By their favoring you, you'll be prevented the torments of Naraka hell in this way. You see it? You didn't do that when you were alive. All your studying was your own personal issue. Selfishness then, only ourselves then, only of ourselves in this manner. Hari Om. Grihas ko dharam ke korete hua bhi ko koi ko tirat nahi kiya hai. Whilst you were blessed with this body and you had good health and strength, you never let these feet take this body to places of tirat, holy places of pilgrimage. Right? Coming to the mandir is a place of tirat. Right? If you could go to India, you have so much that you can't finish visit them. People who can't go, that's why the temple organizes on an annual basis. We visit our local mandirs in our land. Any holy place you have puja taking place there, Kirtan, Bhagwan's Katha, that is a holy spot of pilgrimage. Okay? You never thought, you never had time for that. When I retire, I will start to go. Right? While you're young, strong, healthy, vigorous with all the vitality, you ain't going. Right? Now when the body getting weaker, and all issues coming in with disease and sickness and so on, now you're studying. But let me go and see him. Let me see what I can make up for it. How much you can do. You see, that's why devotees, to be spiritually fit, you have to be mentally fit. Right? And when best you are spiritually and mentally fit? When you are physically fit. And when best are we physically fit? When you're young, strong, and healthy. Now, let me tell you a little, see with this, You see, when you're young, you just feel you'll never get old. You see, when you're healthy, doc, give you a clean bill of health, you'll feel you'll never get sick. All right? But you see that clock ticking there? It has tell a different story going down the road. Nobody knows when and what can happen in this way. Hence why great philosophers say, don't procrastinate, do not put off. Right? Don't keep putting off, but get on board and start. Right? Kickstart and start a move whilst God bless. With health, strength, and whatever resources that we may have. Hari Om, Kyana ko devta ko puja tata hankar bhi ko nahi ko tyagi hai. You never study a 12 puja in your life. Bhagwan Krishna says in chapter 3 in the Gita, right? We are not yogis, we are grihastis. Grihastis are householders. Because Arjun was in a state of despair, you know. Krishna Bhagwan tell him the greatest of meditation. And now he come back and telling him about karma yoga, action. So Arjun telling him, he said, Lord, you explain the greatness of meditation. I telling you, let me forget you one, I'll go and meditate. So Krishna Bhagwan had to tell him, Arjun, that way is for the yogis. The yogis are the Himalayas. The pathway of karma is for we grihastis, householder. Arjun, you have wife, you have children. You have to care for them, provide for them. You want to sit on a hammock and rock? You want legs? Get up and perform action. And it's only when you perform action with this body, good action, you could burn bad ones. All right? So karma yoga has to take place. And Krishna Bhagwan said in Gita, cherish the devatas. When you cherish the devatas, and through the made offering through that fire, the havan that is made with pure homemade ghee on red hot fire coals, when it goes up into the atmosphere, the devatas become appeased and pleased. In turn, they send back rain. With rain, you'll have germination of seeds. With the germination of seeds, you'll have growth of plants. With the growth of plants, you will have grains. With grains, you'll be able to nourish this body and carry on your species. Anytime we stop puja, puja is thanksgiving. Right? You give thanks. For Krishna Bhagwan himself says in Gita, anytime you're progressing in this world and you're giving thanks, you are a thief. We are considered as thieves. But the normal tendency of the human is I who work hard and build, you know. You know, harder work and make and all things here to have this today. If the Lord did not permit it, you couldn't have it. And hence why we are always supposed to give thanks. Puja, when you understand it, is giving thanks, devotees, for what the Lord has blessed you with. Hari Om Narayana Bhakti Kevalam. Living in this householder life, what happened, devotees? You never even express compassion, devotees, which is mercy upon other creatures. Having mercy in your heart is a saintly quality. In Kali Yuga, now, you see the 4 pillars of Sanatan Dharam is Satya, Sauch, Daya, and Dan. Satya is truth, right? Sauch is cleanliness, Daya is mercy, and Dan is charity. But with the going of the 3 ages back, Sat, Sauch, and Daya are gone. That's why in Kali Yuga, as Kali Yuga go along, people will not have mercy in their heart. You've already seen what is happening with life. Human life, which is the highest, and look at where it has reached. Right? But if you can acquire that mercy, the compassion in your heart, is a saintly quality which one can acquire, and one should strive to. Hari Om, अच्छे को पुरुषों की सेवा को नहीं को करने से, हरि ओम को फल को भोगियों को अन्न को, हरि ओम धर्म से को रहितों को जिसमें को अनेकों तटकी, हमको तुम्हारा को तारना को करते की होता है, श्री विष्णु भगवान की जय. So, you know what happened? The soul is begging the Jamdut at them, right? Because Toti are going down the road, all right? And they begging, please forgive me, please, I wouldn't do it again, you know, please, give me a chance there, you know? And the Jamdut telling him, It's too late to classify. You had the privilege to do it and you didn't do it. And as the privilege you get, anytime you're blessed with this human body, no matter what status you may find yourself in, you're blessed to have this body. You could improve your whole life going along. Our forefathers showed us that. That's why we benefiting today. They didn't look back, but they keep looking forward. Let me do with this body and do it, and it will help. And it did. So then he says here, devotees, Bhagavan Vishnu is telling him, you never did any again, any act with this body of a service, giving free service. Devotees, whenever you do a service and you get paid for it, you are compensated. That write-off. Voluntarily, right? What you could do with this body, you're looking for no gain. Right? Krishna Bhagavan says that. When you do with this body, do it selflessly. Do not look for a reward. But every action has a reaction. The reward don't put on for a long time. But when you put X price to do it, that nullified you. Right? How much of our talents, our skills, and whatever that we have, that we offer freely? You never did that. Everything was a price and a price and a price. And when you go to the funeral, nothing inside there you could carry. All we have there for in a day. Yeah. So you see, devotees, whilst you had the privilege, you did not do it. Hari Om Narayan Bhakti Kevalam. Isko phal ko bhogiyo ko antame dharm ko rahito hai. Now suffer the consequences of your actions. Jamdu telling the soul, I can't help you here, Right? You have done the act, you have to suffer for it in this manner. Hari Om, your own sins which you committed. Jise ko aneko Hari Om Sri. तसह की को हमको तुम्हारा को तारना करते की होता है. Because again, you are devotee, you again, he says here, you are devoid of righteousness. You have no aspects of righteousness in you. And that is why the importance of being in satsang. Satsang is the place, devotees. You see, when you're born engulfed in this web of Maya or materialism, which makes you believe it's real and true and the real objective of life. But it is not so. Only when you get your third eye open, then you begin to see there's a difference. A difference with this material world and really what really is your true purpose of coming here as a human. Yeah, we have to live, we have to survive, we have to eat, you want basic necessities. As I said, there is nothing wrong, we are householders, in achieving the comforts in life and so on. What does be wrong? When we try to acquire it dishonestly, and when you stay attached to it, this is mine. That's where the trouble comes. Right? This is where the trouble really comes. So being in satsang, for binu satsanga vivekana hui. Satsang is the easiest place to get his third eye open, so that the light of knowledge will dawn, dispelling the darkness of ignorance. And when that starts to happen, another thing which is so difficult otherwise begin to take place within this body. Controlling the senses of perception and the organs of action. Seeing, tasting, touching, smelling, and hearing are these organs of action within. That which is so difficult to control, now through the mercy of the Lord and with the third eye open, you are able to harness it. Right? That's why devotee satsang has to be part and parcel of our whole lifestyle and development of our life itself. Hari Om Narayana Bhakti Kevalam. इसी प्रकार और तुमको कहो को हरिओम दंडनीय को अपराध को क्षमारो को हरिओम श्री क्षमा करो. वहाँ ईश्वर को भगवान को करते हैं और को अंत कोई भी को नहीं है. श्री विष्णु भगवान की जय. He said, Jamru telling the soul, forgiveness of sins is only the Lord does do that. Bhagwan Krishna, Bhagwan Vishnu, he is the one to forgive and forget and write off and whatsoever. He said, we are only here, we work with orders, We are messengers of Lord Yamraj. We fall under his jurisdiction, and what he said to do, this is what we are doing. Right? So don't blame us. I can't help you with this. You did the action there, you have to pass through it this way. Only the Lord and Master devotees could forgive in this way. And again, you see, it comes back to one very important point. That is the greatness of Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga has the privilege, although the worst age, where a person can burn bad karmas brought across from previous birth and what you make here. We can burn plenty of them. Again, that is why Raja Parikshit allowed Kali Yuga to live. And what did he tell him? The easiest place to do it is satsang. Satsang. And you know Parikshit, what is the great thing about satsang? Eka ghari adhi me punyar tulasi sangat asari ke kati kutya parar. It's going to be longer than 2 hours. Yeah. By regularly being in satsang, gradually the third eye will start to open, the light of knowledge will dawn, dispelling the darkness of ignorance. The mercy of the Lord will start to be showered, and bad karmas will start to eradicate from your list. So let me say you have the 100% and you could burn 60%. And that's plenty helping yourself. So no matter what time you may want to start to be involved, you always will benefit from it. Right? Totally is that person who totally absorbed in satsang. Man vachar karam in mind, body and soul. He becomes a Jivan Mukta right here. Krishna Bhagavan says in Gita, eating the remnants of my yag does burn your bad karmas. That panchamrit after you made the salikram. The prasad devotees that you offer there, that is blessed, by eating it does burn your bad karmas. But you must always make sure that the prasad is offered to Bhagavan, then taken back in the back, mixed with the others, and then you parcel it. Anytime you parcel that prasad without offering it here, you really parcel in Mahan Bhog, not prasad. It have to be mixed with the others. The very food devotees that is cooked and prepared by partaking of it from a yagya, it burns away your sin. No matter is rice, curry, chana, aloo, and mango and pumpkin. But that food comes like prasad when it's prepared clean without juta in it, and the Brahmana blesses it. All the rest of all the food has come like prasad itself. So we have avenues by which we could help ourselves. Right? Look how much ways you could help. Doing good seva with this body, again, guilelessly from your heart, burn your bad karmas. And that's why we read in Bhagavad, great souls in Satyug, they beg the Lord to born back in Kali Yuga. Because to eradicate sins and to achieve moksha, it is easier in Kali Yuga than it was in Satyug. Right? You never took advantage and harnessed these opportunities that were given to you. So don't cry now, don't beg now. We are only doing our job, right? Hari Om Narayan Bhakti Kevalam. और तुम कहो को दंडनीय को अपराध को क्षमा कर. हरि ओम. वहाँ ईश्वर को भगवान करते और को अन्य को कोई भी नहीं की होता है. You desire to be punished and beaten. You jump to tell the soul, right? You commit the act, so you have to pay for it. All right? Hari Om. We only, how you call it, do our job as ordered by the Master himself, Lord Yamraj. इसी प्रकार को श्री विष्णु भगवान बोले कि हे करोड़ कि पुरुषों के कोतारना को देने वाला है श्री राधा वर कृष्ण चंद्र की जय. Haven't spoken devotees to the soul. The messengers beat them mercilessly, devotees. Haven't spoken to them, he beat them again. It's torture, mercilessly in this manner. And ऐसे वचन को कहा यमराज को दूत. हरि ओम दया रहित को हो को. हरि ओम पापियों के को तारना को करते हैं. तब प्रेत को जले हुआ को अंगार को भी को तरह होकर को तारना करते नीच गिरते की होता है श्री विष्णु भगवान की जय. On account of that beaten devotees that they get, what happened, it says here, they faint away, they fall down, they lose away and all these things and so on, because of the torture now extended to them due to the karmas committed whilst they were alive in the body. The soul can't die, always remember that. And again, you see this picture here, if you never see it, you've got to take a look at it. The top row tells you, when you do this action, the below row tells you how you had to pay for it in hell. Right? Okay, if you never see it, you could look at it afterwards, anybody wish to. This is how, some people say it no heaven, it no hell. Yat Chaudaha Bhuvan, 14 planetary setting. We live in the middle one, you call it it's divided in 3 galaxies called we live in the middle one called the Milky Way. You have Satal, Rasatal, Patal and all the others going down, and then you have Bhaswak and all the others going upwards. So these are planetary settings where these hellish regions, devotees are there, and due to your karmic situation, you find yourself in them as we are going to hear. Narayana Bhakti Kevalam. इसी प्रकार को जून के को गिरते पुनः को हरिओम श्री शमली को वृक्षों के पत्र को उस पर को गिरते की होता है. I've been beaten devotees. What happened, it says here, they hung you upside down on a silk cotton tree. And it licks again. It licks again, devotees. Right? You get licks and so on. They beat you in that fall in the air. Whilst devotees, they fall again. It says limbs are cut again by sharp leaves, devotees, and all of these that are in that place. जिसके उनके को कि अंगों का को हरि ओम श्री धीदन को होता है, जिनको को कुत्ते को भक्षण करते हैं और वहां को प्रेत दुखी को होकर राते हैं. Then devotees, as you cry and you get up again, you faint away and you regain consciousness and you come up again, licks again and you go wrong. All right, bitten by fierce dogs and other creatures that are there in this way. इसी प्रकार को रुदन करते हुआ को प्रेत का मुख को धर से भर को पाश से को बांध को यमदूत को अनेक को हरिओम प्रकार से को मारते तथा को अंत में यमदूत को मुदर से को मारते की होता है. श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय, विष्णु भगवान की जय. Then devotees, it tells you here, the mouths of those again who are crying, right? You're bawling, you're crying because of the pain and the licks and all that. They fill it up with dust. The jamdut and then fill up your mouth now with dust so you can't cry. All right? You're suffering along that pathway. All right? And devotees, they've been bound again by various nooses and so on, beaten, hung upside down on that silk cotton tree, and licks devotees like peas in the West Indies. कोई कोई यमदूत को करने तादि को काष्टकी को तरह पापी को भेदन को करते हैं. जीतने यमदूत को हरिओम श्री नारकी को भूमि पर को गिरकर को कुठारादि को डुकरे डुकरे को करेते करते की होता है. श्री विष्णु भगवान की जय. O Garuda ji, some of again the sinful ones again devotees, they are cut devotees with saw-like objects, right? Now remember, the soul can't die, although all is torture taking place in different ways, and you wonder when fellows really know how to torture people and so on. And look where it come from, the Yamlok self, right? All different aspects of it, okay? Others are thrown on the ground, chopped into pieces and all these things and so on, devotees with axes and so on. कितने दूध भूमि को गरा को खोदते का पापियों को कति को पर्यंतन को गार उनके को मस्तकों को हरिओम श्री बाने से को भीतन को कौटिया की होता है. Some of their bodies, devotees, it says, are buried in a pit. right? And pierce devotees on the head. You know, if you watch them Western and you see they bury a man down in the sun up to here, all right? And they put some sweet thing around for them ants to come, right? Them mountain ants, you know, going on there, in real trouble. All aspects of thought here, this is what is happening because of actions that were committed by, how you call it, when you had this body. You didn't use it for the true purpose. Bhagwan Shri Ram said that in Ramayana Katha, you know, to the people of Ayodhya. Bare bhagya manusha tanupava. Of my creation of 8,400,000 species of lives, there isn't a body higher than the human the soul could come and get to live in. You're not born by guess. No one is born by guess. This body have chakras or kundalinis, points of awakening. With yogic practice, you're able to awaken them and live the life force, at least get your third eye open. The yogis go higher, they bring it to the pineal gland, the seat of the soul, and they communicate with Prabhu in that abstract energy, Nirgun Brahman, in a state of samadhi. We could do it. But we are not yogis, we are householders. You have to go to work, you have to provide for family, this, that, all these things and so on. All right? But there's a guidance again how to live this life. Stay detached. Stay detached. It don't mean you have to give up everything and go and sit down in the forest, you know. No, you're right. You see what you are here for? That is detachment. You can afford to leave the house and come out in satsang. That is detachment. You know, people can't do that. They can't do it. I was afraid to come, you know, the place is dangerous, you know. And you go there and you have to go still. And you will die. Exactly. Right? It will happen one day. Right? But you want to make umpteen excuse, but other issues, you have the time for it. You make all the sacrifice for it and so on. But this which is important to help us, because when we have to leave this body and go, devotees, you just be looking back. You know what? You know what the scriptures tell you? The Jamdut does be telling the, how you call it, the soul does be telling the Jamdut, right? Especially, you know, when, after the first Bhandara, and you had the monthly pindas to offer, the soul does tell the Jamdut, my son and them real dedicated to me and my family, you know. They go offer all the pinda and tarpan and do this, that, that. You know, Jamdut does tell the soul, he say, you think them studying you? You don't dead, you know. Dead horse can't eat grass, you know. Them studying to see where you had the bank book, how much the bank book have in it, who get in this land and who get in the house and which car for this one. They were studying you, right? Look at families, and you seen that happening? A little sacrifice to make on behalf of your loved one who has passed away, father, mother, brother, whosoever. They can't just find that little time to make that sacrifice. You watch a mother and a father, eh? You see, you really doesn't know how much trouble you give your parents until you have children. And especially a mother with 9 months pregnancy, and then that child born and bringing up that child to be a big man or a big woman, and you can't see that kind of sacrifice to give back a little bit. Think about it. And holding on because of material issues, you know, and you have to leave that and go. You have to leave it and go. This is the whole issue of it. It has more to it than that. So when the time comes for the offering of the pindas, when the date reach, his soul waiting. He said, check, I'll show my son offer it. Jamdu said, but I ain't seen your name down here, boy. Nothing offer today. Eh? Dejectedly now the soul has to struggle on. If it is offered, soul gets it, fully energized, it can move on. It's so logical, realistic, and practical when you look at it. Right? And this is obligation, especially as sons we have to do this. So devotees, what happened? They are beaten, they are trodden over, they are pierced with spikes and all these things and so on. But the soul, again, devotees, how you call it? That's because of its karma. Hariom kitne dur ko bhumi ko garha ko khorkar ko papiyo ko kati ko paryantan gar unke ko masake ko बानों से को भेदन करते हैं. He said, some there again, the bodies devotees are sawed in half, right? Buried in pits, all these things, pierced again on the head, under with arrows and so on. Others are squeezed devotees in like a machine. You ever see the machine where they squeeze the sugarcane to get the sugarcane juice? They flatten you out. They're like Tom and Jerry, how they flatten out. They're passing through it that day. But you're feeling the pain, but you can't die. कितने को यमदूत को अंगार को सैर को बल के हुआ को काष्ट चारों को तरक को बेष्टि कर को हरिओम श्री लोहा पिंड की को तरह को अतिशय को कर को धर्म काते की होता है राधा वर कृष्ण चंद्र की जय हरिओम नारायण भक्ति केवलम. It tells you again, some are cooked. Now literally here they say, they fry you in hot oil and hot ghee. Right? You see here what happened when you were small. And others devotees in this way. And bake you like a cake or hot tower and so on. Thrown into a frying pan. Right? Turn how you turn out, make it fried bacon, you know, and you turn it over and so on. So they roast in you, depending on the type of actions that were committed by this body. Right? You see, if you don't read this, you wouldn't get to know. That's why I'm telling you, it's for mere information that we could help to better our lives. Always remember, no human being is perfect. That's why we are here. What you don't do, you don't do. Right? It has no reverse gear in that. But ahead we could make a little change. Once you say always better to try than fail to try. Right? God help those who help themselves. But we just tell ourselves, you see, me studying afterwards, what happened. And when you find yourself in that situation, you know, this is what happened. The soul is begging and regretting at that point in time. Hariom. Kitano kiko, Hariom madu, madumat ko hatiyo kiko angar ko, Hariom siri patak ki hota hai. They are thrown in front, devotees in the way of mad elephants coming in the pathway that they trample upon you. Hariom pair ko banwar ko, ulte ke muka ko girta ki hota hai. Some are placed again, head downwards, devotees with hand and feet bound behind them. Thrown into wells, devotees, some cliffs. All these torture devotees take place. Hariom, kinki ko Hariom Sri. Kumiko kundamiko pariko hua ko jiwo bhet ko jate hai. This is how Bhagwan Vishnu is telling Garur, this sinful suffers. All right? Kitane ko mastak neko netro ke Hariom Vajra. Vajra ko, mana ko, tikshan ko, chanwali ko, Hariom kaga pakshi ko, tatha ko, masa ko, lobhi. Hariom lobhi ko grita patte kumarte ki hota hai. You then put into pits full of worms, and the worms start to eat you in that body of tortilla. Right? Then devotees, crows and birds, you know, with very hard beaks, then flesh-eating these creatures of them. They begin to pick at you, at your eyes, your ears, your nose, all these things and so on. As devotees when they feed on then carcasses. कितने परस्पर यहाँ करते कि पूर्व जन्म में को तुम्हारे हमारा को धन को भक्षण किया तुम अब को मेरे को धन को क्यों की को हरिओम यमलोक के को भली को भी ऐसा प्रार्थना करते कि होता है. And so devotees, Vishnu Bhagwan is telling here now, Garurji, the Jamduts and them are bringing the message across now, as related now, the torture that has taken place here. And what is the advice that is given? Give up this wealth, give up this attachment, all the material issues that we have, give up, learn to detach from it. Because devotees, you see, let me tell you something, Gita philosophy explains, what is the last, when a person is dying, what is the last impression on the mind at the moment of death destines the future state of the soul. What is going through this mind when the life is going? That is what you're going to get. If you're thinking about Krishna Bhagavan, you go get him. But if you walk up to the house, boy, and the land, boy, and the car, and this and that, and all the money I work so hard for, and the life go, you're coming back. You're coming back right here in it. It's very simple. That's why as we go along, you see, the householder life supposed to have stages. Brahmachari, Grihasti, Vanprasth, and Sannyas. Grihasti is the householder. Children start to get big and you start to let go. But don't put it on your neighbor alone. Put your neighbor's life interest so they can't put you out on the road. Very important in Kali Yuga. Who you working hard for is your children, isn't it? You're giving them, keep your neighbor's life interest, and that is yours until you live in. So they can't do no craziness with it. Because it's something that has happened, that's happening and so on, devotees. You detach. So when the time comes, devotees, to leave this world, you have nothing to hold on to. You're already separate. Yeah. So as we go along in life, right, this is where we're supposed to detach. But you're not just detaching, you're getting closer now on the pathway of satsang. You understand? This is where you're going to spend the time now. On the spiritual pathway, you're making more time for it now. Because all our trouble, I made that reference some time ago. Let us look at the minimal lifespan of a human according to Western counting is 70 years. 70. All right? Leave out the period of infant time. All right? Let me say going to school and so on and thing there. Let me say primary, 12 years then and more. Check it now, we're 15, right? There's 70 years, from 15 years to 70 years. How many years is that, Yari? Huh? 55? Right. Check of that amount of life that we have. How much we has really dedicate for the purpose for which we come here, which is to serve the Lord. Which one we just dedicate more to? The material things. Our whole lifestyle is in materialism. Materialism. And devotees, they come back and you see, this is, you have to leave it, right? You have to leave it and go. You cannot carry it. Nobody, everybody go to a funeral. I'm not saying that you must not have zeal in life and to be industrious and, you know, to, what you call it, to work hard and make and build. If our forefathers didn't work hard, we will not be benefiting what we have today. It's because of their, how you call it, hard toil and so on. So the bhajan does tell you it. This is why the message come here though. Jhute jana magavaya. Don't waste this body. Sadhu. You are a saint. You are a great person. You didn't come here by guess. Always remember, nobody belongs to you. Father is not yours. Mother is not yours. Husband is not yours. Wife is not yours. Nobody. Only one person is waiting for you in the end. Dharti Mata. The house, the land, the wealth, the assets, whatever we have, right here it remains. Sometimes cause more trouble. better than have. Because one fighting the next one for the same piece. Two of them want the same piece of land. Think about it. And what find the time? Satsang, get involved. Let it become part of your routine, devotees. It has to be part of your lifestyle. Let us see. Jhute janam gavaya sadhu. Jhute janam gavaya o sadhu. Jhute janam gavaya. Jhute janam
gavaya sadhu. Jhute janam gavaya sadhu. Jhute janam gavaya.
एक पिता के हम सब लड़के धरती हमरे माता ओ
एक पिता के हम सब लड़के धरती हमारी माता
कुटुंब कबीला संगन साथी कुटुंब कबीला संगन साथी काल दन कब जाया it, you have to go.
गवाया
झूठे जन्म गवाया
साधु ज्योति जन्म गवाया ओ साधु ज्योति जन्म गवाया
2 दिन तो पहुनाई जगत में माया में भर माया ओ
2 दिन तो बहुनाई जगत में माया में भर माया
धन दौलत कुछ काम नु आवे धन दौलत कुछ काम नु आवे छूट जाएगी यह काया साधु
झूठे जन्म गवाया ओ साधु झूठे जन्म गवाया
झूठे
जन्म
Oh God,
गवाया
give man more
साधु
one.
झूठे
The desires
जन्म
of us are-
गवाया ओ साधु झूठे जन्म
Find
गवाया
time and go to satsang. सत्संग की गंगा बही गई कोमल जिसका धारा ओ
सत्संग की गंगा बही है कोमल जिसका धारा
करिय स्नान विमल कर काया करिय स्नान विमल कर काया पापिन पाप कराया साधु
झूठे जन्म गवाया साधु झूठे जन्म गवाया झूठे जन्म गवाया साधु झूठे जन्म गवाया साधु झूठे जन्म गवाया साधु झूठे जन्म गवाया
बोलो श्री विष्णु भगवान की जय सत्संग की गंगा बही है satsang is like the Ganga river. As you bathe in sins as wash away, being constantly in satsang, our negativities will also wash away. Sri Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai Narayan Bhakti Kevalam Narayan Sri Vishnu Bhagwan bole कि हे गरुड़ जी ऐसे नरक में को पापी पुरुषों के को आपस में को विवार को करते हुआ को यमदूत उनके को हरिओम मास खंडलों में को छेदन को कर को मांगने वाले को डेरे की होता है श्री विष्णु भगवान की जय. So give up the attachment. Right? As I'm saying, nothing is wrong in acquiring materialism. Nothing is wrong. That's why we are householders. What is wrong when you try to acquire it dishonestly, or when you stay attached to it, this is mine. And again, look back and see, out of the period of time God put us here for to live, really, you see what has happened in 7 months of pregnancy in the mother's womb. The baby, the fetus is fully conscious. The fetus is turned in a bow-like position like this, preparing for delivery. Bhagwan Vishnu has come and remind you, I've given you a real chance to come as a human, right? You have the privilege, you could reach back to me, You say, Lord, you don't worry, I'm promising you. Just let me born, I will serve you from birth to death. Every human being make that solemn promise. And when we born here now, you get entangled in materialism, you forget it now. This is a nice world, boy, and you get tied up in the niceness, which you feel is nice. But really, Kag Musun tell Garuda and Ramayana, Garuda asked him, he said, my master, tell me something. What is the height of happiness that a human could experience while you're living in this body? You know what's the answer? It had nothing to bring more happiness than when you're in satsang. This holy environment of satsang, puja, kirtan, and katha, it have nothing. But when you really get appreciate it and understand it, and that true liking come for it, it really has nothing to compare with it. Nothing, 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 devotees. He's a master of satsang. Right? And that's what we tell him. Now, always remember, if you get a chance to born, from the moment you're born, only one sure thing in life. And you know what is that? One day, and nobody knows, you're going to hear a knock on your door. And when you watch through the peephole, who are you? He say, my name is Jamdut, messenger that you had to go today, you know. Eh? Yes, serious? He say, yes. Your name on the list. What, you had to go. God, give all 2 weeks straight on some business and so on. He said, it had that here, you have to go. And you're wailing and you're crying and you have to leave all these nice things here and so on. You're bombing back in it again. And that is how the whirlwind of births and death, reincarnation, the transmigration of the soul keeps moving from body to body to body, as we are going to hear later on. Because of the different sins, remember there are 8,400,000 species of lives. And they are in 4 different categories called Andaj, Ukmaj, Pinda, Janastarvar. You have lives born from wombs, mammals. We are the highest. Lives born from eggs. Lives that are sweat-born, microscopic, and otherwise in the plant kingdom. Everything is a karma situation. But when you get to come as a human, you really make it. You really make it. You want to go wrong, back down again? So this is why satsang is to keep reminding us. And today with this world of technology, look at throughout the world, you could be listening from Nagar temple here. Think about it. So many avenues there that we could help ourselves and better ourselves in this way. And so devotees, he continues to admonish Garudaji. It's not that Garuda did not know, you know, right? Garuda knew this knowledge, but if the questions were not asked, we will not be finding out this today. So devotees, Hari Om Narayana Bhakti Kevalam Charan Kamalibhyo Namo Namaha. And you see all go down here, what you do with your money and all these things, that's all you work so hard for and all these things. You never get a little charity, you never offer a little food, this, that, all them things. I said, Narako papi purusho ke ko, Hariam apas mein vivar karte hua, Yam dutun ke ko, Masa ko khandalo ke ko, Chedan kar ko, Mango walo ko ke deta ki hota hai. And so devotees, the sinful again, in the hell, the hellish region, they are given devotees even that which is not fit for eating. That is what you're enjoying down here, right? Quarreling devotees, they are taken again by the messengers of Yam and thrown into the dreadful hells that are spoken about here, right? Tamisrat and others. Hells that are full devotees of misery, and those again thereby tied again to that tree in which there's a great misery again, that, how you call it, this cotton tree I tell you about, right, is mentioned here. Garud, Chaurasi Lako Narakhai, there are 8,400,000 different type of hells. The species of life is one, but there are that amount of hells too. इसमें को 21 को प्रकार को भयानक को नरक की होता है. But of the 8,400,000, 21 of them are what you really call pressure points, trouble, worries. The worst of the 8,400,000 are these 21 hellish regions that are spoken about that souls enter into. So what is 21 are? We are going to find out on our next occasion. Bolo Shri Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai, prem se boliye Shri Vishnu Bhagavan ki jai. Hindus have so many scriptures, you could never finish read them. You have to born back again and again and again and again and again, and you're going on so. And that's why satsang had to be going. It took us 39 years reading Ramayana and Bhagavad. And now we start Garuda Purana. Just think about it. But the knowledge is so much. You must benefit, it must help you, you must improve. When you get the knowledge, you could help others too. You could do good now to others in this way. So devotees, this dialogue is between again Bhagavan, Vishnu and the Garuda. And in it, as we see here, is a knowledge, devotees, as how we really should chart our lives so that we ourselves will be able to have a better hereafter when the time comes to leave this body, which definitely is going to happen. So we stop at this juncture as we normally do cross the half-8 mark. So Bolo Shri Vishnu Bhagavan Ki Jai. To the devotees, once more, thanks so much for being here. We didn't have satsang for the 2 weeks gone by. I was not here. But people are glad when they come up to New York, they're glad to have satsang up there. All right? And it was most beautiful indeed. We say thanks very much tonight to Samantha for sponsoring the food and the parasat tonight. She's now just joined the teaching fraternity and is a teacher at the San Grande Hindu School. So Samantha, God, congratulations, best wishes to you, and may Bhagavan continue to bless, guide, and protect. So these 2 girls, Samantha and Shiris, they're both teachers now, and this is what satsang does. From little children, I mean, they're here. What is sad tonight is know that you all are here, but your mom is not here. You see? You all experience it, so you know. A day and knock will come. When, how, nobody knows. But it's going to be. But the good lives that you are living ahead of you, wherever that Atma or soul of your mom is, she definitely will be proud of you all. So thanks so much for your contribution of food and parasat tonight. We want to thank Mr. Chanarjit by Lalan, right? That is you? That's not you? All right. Well, are different people, all right? We thank Lalan for taking the opportunity to puja tonight. We had no sruta. And Bhojan and the parasat is prepared by Mrs. Samantha Tulsi herself, sponsored by Samantha. And who prepared here, boy? She's also a graduate of UE, and she was a BSc in education, right? Well, I requirements are teaching, right? We thank Kamala and Alan for preparing the parasat. Everybody has come on board to make it happen. So God bless you all. Now, before we join in Arti, this month behind is called the month of Mag. It started on the 14th of January and will finish on the 12th of February. Every 12 years, Mag is what they call Makar Sankranti. When the sun enters the sign of Capricorn on the 14th of January, the sun is now fully stationed on the northern coast. In a place in India where the 3 holy rivers meet, the Ganga, Jamuna, and the Saraswati, is a place in Allahabad called Triveni or Prayagraj. It is said in that place when the Devatas churned the ocean and they got the jar of nectar and they were heading up to the heavens, drops of that nectar fell in that place. That is why it's so auspicious. Every 12 years, a massive celebration takes place there called the Maha Mela celebration. So this year is the Maha Mela. And it is estimated that around 400 million people will visit this spot, right, until the 12th of February. Okay? Very, very, very auspicious. Many devotees have gone to India, like myself, and visited this place. We have been there. There's a trip again. Always think of it, that sometime in your life to try to make this trip there. You will reach. Okay, so this month will come. This Mag will come to the end of this month of Mag and the Kumbh Mela on the 12th of February. It was in one of this occasion of the end of the Kumbh Mela, Yagnavalk met Bharadwaj Muni, and the first revelation of the Ramayana took place there in Prayagraj itself. So also remember too that, as we mentioned, that our next full moon katha will be on the 12th of what did we have that as? You sure the 11th? Oh, all right, yeah, the 11th of February will be the full moon. The next morning, probably the full moon will finish. That's what we do, full moon katha, so it has to be on the night of the full moon. Right? So that Purnima or the full moon will take place on Tuesday the 11th. Okay? So please remember that. If you don't have a schedule, it has a schedule of activities there. Also, I want to take this opportunity to extend an invitation to one and all. My grandsons who live away, they'll be coming here to perform what is called the Upanayana or Janeu ceremony. And this will take place next weekend right here in the temple. So each and everyone is invited, right, to come and attend. The Hardi will be Friday the evening, the 7th. Hardi will begin between 5:30 to 7, just like in a wedding. The Hardi evening, just so. And the Sunday morning from 8 o'clock to lunchtime will be the ceremony itself. It's the most ancient ceremony whereby, born as a Brahman, you're supposed to perform it in order to be initiated with the sacred thread, that if you wish to do priesthood work later on, this is where you become eligible. You must do that. Then you become twice born, right? So it's an obligation as parents and grandparents that we have to do. So again, I want to extend this invitation to each and every one. Remember next weekend, Friday evening, please come out to the Hardi, and the Sunday will be the thing. It's a rare ceremony also, okay? So it's good to really come and you'll witness it. We'll have kirtan, all these things and so on going on. But Navid Bhownath Maraj will be officiating in this ceremony. So please accept this humble invitation. Bolo Shri Vendra Ban Bihari Lal Ki Jai. Right. Due to the occasion next weekend, we have a lot of work to put in place and fix up and organize. So we'll be putting off next week Thursday's satsang. Okay, we will not have any satsang next Thursday because I'll have to use that evening for preparation of the place and all these things and so on. Right? So I'm very sorry about it, but definitely we need that time to do that. So you can remind others who are not here. So Bolo Shri Vishnu Bhagavan Ki Jai. Let us now stand, please, as we join in Arti, glorifying Bhagavan Vishnu, and this text, the Shri Garuda Purana. If they wish to, yeah, we just right. Hari Om Yani Kani Chapapadi Janamantar Gretanita Tanitani Vinashanti Pradakshina Pariparidipanam. राधा वर कृष्ण चंद्र की जय जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे भक्तजनों के संकट भक्तजनों के संकट जन में दूर करे ओम जय जगदीश हरे
जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे भक्त जनों के संकट दास जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करी ओ जय जगदीश हरे
जो ध्यावे फल पावे दुख बिन से मन का
स्वामी दुख बिन से मन का
सुख संपत्ति घर आवे
सुख संपत्ति घर आवे कष्ट मिटे तन का ओम जय जगदीश हरे मात पिता तुम मेरे शरण कहूँ किसकी
स्वामी शरण कहूँ मैं किसकी तुम बिन और न दूजा
तुम बिन और न दूजा आश करो मैं जिसकी ओ जय जगदीश
हरे तुम पूरन परमात्मा तुम अंतरयामी
स्वामी तुम
पार ब्रह्मा परमेश्वर
पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर तुम सबके स्वामी ओम जय जगदीश हरे
तुम करुणा के सागर तुम पालन
करता स्वामी तुम पालन करता
ओ दीन दया
कृपा करो भरता। ओम जय जगदीश हरे।
तुम हो
एक गोचर
सबके प्राणपति स्वामी,
सबकी प्राणपति।
मिलो दया में,
किस विधि मिलो दया में, तुमको मैं उमटी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे।
ओ दीन बंधु दुख हरता, तुम रक्षक मेरे स्वामी,
तुम रक्षक मेरे।
करुणा हस्त बढ़ावो,
करुणा हाथ बढ़ाओ,
शरण पराय तेरे।
ओम जय जगदीश हरे।
ओ विषय विकार मिटाओ, पाप हरो देवा स्वामी,
पाप हरो देवा।
श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ावो,
श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ, संतन की सेवा। ओम जय जगदीश हरे।
ओम जय जगदीश हरे।
स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे।
स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे।
भक्त जनों के संकट, दास जनों के संकट, क्षण में दूर करी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे।
बोलो श्री विष्णु भगवान की जय। So devotees, we have been blessed with this opportunity afforded to us once more. We express thanks. We beg the Lord's mercy. Please be reminded, Sunday coming is Saraswati Jayanti. The youth group normally hosts this. We give all support. And it's daylight, so we expect to have a full house on Sunday. It's not only for children who are writing exam, but for everyone. Okay, you want to bring offerings and so on, you can also come and do that. I think it will be taped and will play back on Jagriti, I believe, either Monday or Tuesday night. Sometime you will see it. Sunday occasion. Okay, so please be reminded of that. We have also lost a very great Pandit of the Mahasabha, Rampat Baba from Dow Village in California. He came to our temple before, right? Very, very nice person. Again, he was in his 80s, so one day the knock will come. May Bhagwan mercy be upon his soul. Let us give thanks. Hari Om. Shantakaram
भुजगशयनं
Padmanabham
सुरेशं
O Vishwadharam
गगनसदृशं
Meghavarnam
शुभांगं
Lakshmikantam
कमलनयनं
Yogi Viridhyanagamyam
गम्यं
Vande Vishnu
भावभयहरं
Sarvalokaikanatam
कैकनाथम्
Om Tvameva Mata
शपिता त्वमेव
Tvameva Vando
शगसखा
O
त्वमेव
Tvameva Vidya
द्राविणं त्वमेव
Tvameva Sarvam
मम देव देव
Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. बोलो श्री विष्णु भगवान की जय, उमापति महादेव की जय, सीतापति रामचंद्र की जय, पवन पुत्र हनुमान की जय, गुरु रामानंद स्वामी की जय, आर शक्ति जगदम्बे माता की जय, राधावर कृष्ण चंद्र की जय, प्रेम से बोलिए सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय, सर्वदेवी सर्वदेवता की जय, साधु गुरु के दंडवत जय 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 सीताराम। आपकी आसन लीजिए, kindly take your seats. Be reminded after receiving Arti Prasad, meals are prepared. Courtesy Samantha. Tulsi once more, please. Make sure and partake.